Alhamdulillah, we completed Surah Al-Qaf. Now we move on to the Surah after, which is Surah Al-Dhariyat. Surah Al-Dhariyat has a distinct connection with Surah Al-Qaf in that Surah Al-Dhariyat also continues the topic of Hashr and believing in the hereafter, believing in Qiyamah, and contemplating the signs of Allah Ta'ala, contemplating the creation of Allah Ta'ala, and how contemplating that creation should remind you of the Creator. Contemplating the creation should remind you of the Creator. Just like in the last surah, the surah started with a qasam. This surah also starts with a qasam, with an oath. The question is, why does Allah Ta'ala take a qasam? And why does Allah Ta'ala take a qasam on something in His creation? For example, in this surah, Allah Ta'ala says, by the scattering winds, by the scattering winds that scatter far and wide, وَالذَّارِيَاتِ ذَرْوًا, by the winds that scatter. Why is Allah Ta'ala taking an oath by the winds? The scholars of Tafsir will raise this question, and we can raise this question. That Allah Ta'ala is such a great being, why does He have to take an oath on something of His creation? Allah Ta'ala could just take an oath on Himself. Why is He taking an oath by His creation? And the reason for this is that Allah Ta'ala wants us to think about what He's taking an oath. Allah Ta'ala wants to bring our attention to it, think about it, and understand that it is something very great. And so in part, He's also honoring something from His creation. So He's honoring the winds that He is taking an oath by, for example, in this surah. Why is He doing that? When a businessman would like to prove his wealth, he will talk about his success. He will talk about his success. When an architect will prove his success, he will talk about, or he'll show his buildings that he made, his blueprints, his buildings. So you see the mastery of people through the things they do. An artist will boast about their artistic abilities through their paintings. Allah Ta'ala's ability to be khalaq, to be creative, and to be not just creative but the creator, al-khaliq, the creator, this manifests to us through His creation. So through the creation we should be finding evidence to point us to the Creator. So Allah Ta'ala takes an oath by His creation that here's the evidence, here's the proof that should bring you back to me. My creation is only for you to think about it, to remind yourself of me, as it comes in many statements as well of the scholars, that ponder upon the creation. Not to ponder upon the creation to learn more just about the creation, but so that you can learn something about the Creator. Who is the Creator? How did Allah Ta'ala create? Why did He create? So Allah Ta'ala takes an oath by the winds in this surah. And Allah Ta'ala takes an oath by three different types of winds. وَالذَّارِيَاتِ ذَرْوًا, the scattering winds. The Dhariyat are those winds, and the scholars mentioned that the Dhariyat are those winds that will move dust, for example, or move pollen, or move any sort of dust-like particles in the air. So the wind carries it. So all three types of wind, al-hamilat watra or jariyat yusra, all of these three different types of winds, they are commands of Allah Ta'ala, and what are they doing? They are carrying or causing things to move, causing things to travel. So the Dhariyat are those winds which will move pollen and move or cause other winds to move. So how does wind get to you? It doesn't just happen that the wind blows. And this is why, and the point of this is the weatherman can tell you physically why this is happening. But spiritually, if the Quran is talking about something, it has to be a lot deeper than what the weatherman will tell you. It has to be a lot more than just that. So then, what is Allah Ta'ala trying to talk to us about? That the winds, look at how the wind, it causes other winds even to move. And so before the wind gets to you, it's actually an effect of many winds causing others to come forward. And they have wind fronts. So this wind, the Dhariyat, are those winds that carry dust particles or pollen and other things. And it causes the other winds to come to you. Al-Dhariyat. Then Allah Ta'ala says, فَالْحَامِلَاتِ وِقْرًا. Then bearing clouds. Al-Hamilat, those things which carry. So now the winds that carry. Now the wind it gives extreme benefit. Without the wind, imagine how many things would be lost. The wind, all forms of the wind, the first, the second, and the third. All forms of the wind cause great benefit and are very important. Al-Hamilat Wiqra, those that carry wiqr. Wiqr is the heavy burden. So he translates as the bearing clouds. So clouds that bear the moisture, bear water. Right? So the winds, the clouds that carry the rain, cause the rain to move. فَالْجَارِيَاتِ يُسْرًا. فَالْجَارِيَاتِ يُسْرًا, some of the scholars say, refers to the winds that blow in the ocean that cause the boats to move and allow people to travel. فَالْجَارِيَاتِ يُسْرًا, streaming with the greatest of ease. Other scholars say that lighter forms of winds. فَالْمُقَسِّمَاتِ أَمْرًا. Then dispensing those winds or those angels. The scholars mention this either referring to the winds or the angels, and could be referring to both. Dispensing every divinely measured decree. Remember that everything at the end of the day is doing only what Allah Ta'ala has commanded. So the wind, if it's causing other wind to move, if it's giving rain, if it's allowing for travel, all of this is only to do and carry out commands which were given to it, which were ordered by Allah Ta'ala. So فَالْمُقَسِّمَاتِ أَمْرًا, also then, or could be referring to a higher order. So when we learn about what happens in the weather and why it happens, one thing is what we can learn apparently. So even the disbeliever can tell you why the weather is changing, what's causing it to change, what's happening. But can the disbeliever tell you that it's because there are angels that are tasked to cause the rain to happen, or to cause the winds to blow? These are angels that are doing this, ultimately by the order of Allah Ta'ala. So فَالْمُقَسِّمَاتِ أَمْرًا, that the angels are commanded to divide and dispense the order, the amr, command of Allah Ta'ala. And so Allah's order is everything that we're seeing, the fact that the weather, or the climate, and all of these things, they have a pattern. This is all because there's order. Where does the order come from? From the Creator. The order is what allows it to be beautiful. The order is what allows it to be that humans can live in it. The order is what allows it to be an environment that animals can live in it. So the order that comes from Allah Ta'ala. The order of the skies, the order of the wind, the order of the earth. Now this is all the oath. Allah Ta'ala is taking the oath by these different winds that bring to you different things. That bring to you different things. Then Allah Ta'ala, in response of the oath, says, إِنَّمَا تُوعَدُونَ لَصَادِقٌ. Indeed, the forewarnings promised to you will most surely come. That what you are promised, this will also come to you, just like the wind. So just like the wind brings you many things, the order of Allah Ta'ala will bring to you another matter, which is the hereafter. And you cannot deny it. إِنَّمَا تُوعَدُونَ لَصَادِقٌ وَإِنَّ الدِّينَ لَوَاقِعٌ. And Allah's judgment is assuredly imminent. So, إِنَّمَا تُوعَدُونَ لَصَادِقٌ. What you are, the disbelievers, what they are negating, that surely what you are being promised, this is true. This will happen. The same way you cannot negate the wind and what it does. You cannot negate the hereafter. What the hereafter will bring to you. وَإِنَّ الدِّينَ لَوَاقِعٌ. And the deen, which is the fact that the relationship and contract between Allah and insan, that will be taken to task, accountability. Then Allah Ta'ala takes another oath. وَالسَّمَاءِ ذَاتِ الْحُبُكِ. By the heaven streaked with interlaced tracks. Al-Hubuk is the paths of the stars. So by the sky that possesses the paths of the stars. Why is Allah Ta'ala taking an oath by this? Again, at a time when people actually looked in the sky and used the sky. That the stars and the pathways of the stars were very important. They gave guidance to people. They meant something for people. So you're able to look at the sky and make something of it. But إِنَّكُمْ لَفِي قَوْلٍ مُخْتَلِفٍ. Your stars and your sky is rightly guided, it's beautiful, there's order. But إِنَّكُمْ لَفِي قَوْلٍ مُخْتَلِفٍ. You yourselves, what you are saying, or disbelievers, your various statements are in contradiction. Your various statements about the hereafter, that's in contradiction. So the sky and the star has guidance, but you're unable to guide yourselves. Your statements are misguided. إِنَّكُمْ لَفِي قَوْلٍ مُخْتَلِفٍ. Your statements are in utter contradiction. يُؤْفَكُ عَنْهُ مَنْ أُفِكَ. Yet anyone who is diverted from belief in this is most surely diverted from divine guidance. Meaning the only one who is misguided from this is the one who is misguided. The only one who is misguided. So in order for a person to be misguided, they have to choose not to look at the sky. They have to choose not to take a lesson from all of this. Lesson from the creation of Allah Ta'ala. قُتِلَ الْخَرَّاصُونَ. Destroyed are those who do khars. Destroyed are those who do khars. Khars is like shooting arrows in the dark. A person that shoots arrows in the dark will not be able to reach the target. A person who shoots arrows in the dark cannot find the target. So your statements, your reasons for why you think the hereafter doesn't exist, this is exactly like a person shooting arrows in the dark. And the people who are shooting arrows in the dark are destroyed. الَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي غَمْرَةٍ سَاهُونَ. They are those who are immersed in ignorance. فِي غَمْرَةٍ. They are in their ignorance and their sahu, their ignorance and distraction, they are deep, immersed in it, deeply immersed in it. And we'll stop here and continue from here next week, but from the beginning of the surah, Allah Ta'ala is speaking about these winds. Why? To bring our attention that something will be brought to you. The winds bring something to you, Allah Ta'ala will bring something to you as well. And Allah, you should be pondering upon Allah Ta'ala's creation and how vital each of those things, which seem very sensitive, the air, the wind, right? Something so fragile, something so doesn't seem, right? But imagine if this part of the creation was taken away. You rely on it, you need it. So this is a sign for you that the Creator is above you, and the same way He is able to create things that you depend upon, you depend on Him, and that the hereafter will be brought to you. And then ponder upon the sky. And if you ponder upon the sky, then your statements would not be so contradictory. And then you would be rightly guided. And you would not be like those who are shooting arrows in the dark. Those who are immersed deeply in their ignorance. And then we'll continue from ayah number 12 in the next week. The surah has a distinct relationship with Surah Al-Qaf in that it continues the dialogue of the hereafter, the same dialogue which was taking place in the surah before Surah Al-Qaf. Allah Ta'ala let us understand this, the ability to understand it with more depth, and forgive us for any shortcomings in our understanding. آخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين. صدق الله العظيم. سبحان الله وبحمده. سبحان الله وبحمده. أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت.